straight Eagles, and I asked him if he won, and I said it's first place or nothing, and he said I place first in effort. All right,
nice. At least you tried. Hello, welcome to another episode of the BCS Sports Show, where at least we try. You know,
define try.
I was gonna say that might be a little stretch there, but
minimum.
The effort is relative, right?
That's true. Like
it's like fun. It's relative.
That's true. All right, so Super Bowl. Me and Spects have talked about it. Has anything happened since?
No.
There hasn't been anything to come out. No, I can't think of anything. Well, there's Aaron.
I mean, Kellen Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Eagles, got hired by the Saints.
That's true. That's something.
That did
happen.
That did happen. Yeah. I mean, he deserves it.
And I think Kellen Moore's a decent coach, although I don't know with that Saints front office how well and then with the pieces already in place, I don't know. I mean, how much he's going to be able to do with it until
Derek Carr is gone.
Get changed. Yeah, until
pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, they brought Derek Carr in thinking like, oh yeah, this is going to be great, and then it's like, no.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's like that cleaning lady from Family A. No. I throw some incomplete passes and some interceptions and don't really get you very far in the season. That's what Derek Carr is gonna tell you. Like nothing's gonna happen well for you. No, I mean, yeah, that's about the only thing. I mean, it's about the only thing on my radar that's happened, and I mean that's just because he's Mormon, so.
Is he really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
Well, yeah, he met a woman who's Mormon, so he converted too, and then.
See how I say he always comes back to BYU?
This does not come back to BYU. Just because Mormons, like.
Didn't Andy Reid play at BYU?
Andy Reid did, yes.
Yeah, Andy Reid did.
See.
You're the one that brought up Andy Reid.
He wasn't on Andy Reid's staff. This is Kellen Moore, not Andy Reid.
Oh, I know. We brought up Andy Reid. It's like, see, it comes back to BYU.
I didn't bring up Andy Reid. You brought up Andy Reid.
Buddy, you brought up Andy Reid.
I'm looking. Was he any good?
Who? Kellen Moore?
No, I'm looking at Andy Reid. I'm looking at
Andy Reid is a legend in the pump pass kick competition.
Jesus Christ, he was an offensive tackle, 6'3", 233.
And he wasn't great as an offensive tackle. The only reason he even got brought to BYU, Andy Reid, was because they wanted his teammate who was at the same junior college, and Andy Reid wanted to go to BYU. So Lavelle Edwards was like, "Sure, yeah, you can come too if you bring along your friend."
Oh yeah, his best friend Randy Tidwell. Yeah. That's hilarious.
Oh, but then Lavelle Edwards did like as soon as Andy Reid was done and wasn't in the NFL, because I think he got injured towards the end of his college career anyways.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, you should come like be a graduate assistant on my staff, and then that's kind of where it went from there. Is he then coached around at several different places and eventually ended up with the Eagles and then with the Chiefs. And he's been a great coach for both.
Have you seen the video of him participating in the pump, pass, and kick competition when he was 13? Andy Reid. They show it on like Monday Night Broadcast sometimes, and it's incredible.
Oh, no.
It's just this 13-year-old kid that's like giant. He's like 6'2", like built like a truck, just dominating these other kids in the pump, pass, and kick competition. It's so funny.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah, like I don't remember if I said this just before we were on or if I've said this since we were on, but yeah, like the Super Bowl was not very entertaining for me.
You said it before we started, but yeah, like you stopped watching after. When did you stop watching?
It was interesting when the Eagles first started scoring, but then they just kept scoring, and for me, that's like, okay, cool. Like, I was like, cool, the Eagles are gonna win, like, I didn't I voted for the Chiefs or whatever. Like that's who had my. But I've been a Chargers fan most of my life. I don't like the Chiefs.
Yeah,
but I also don't like the Eagles. Like
Yeah,
I used to, but I just feel like, I don't know, the more I've gotten to know some of their fans and
Eagles fans are the worst.
Some of the culture around it, I'm just like, no,
Oh my god,
this is not a team to root for
so
me.
when I was a kid, my family had season tickets to the Washington football team. So the most fights every year was the Eagles game. Every single year. Like
that makes sense.
That
makes sense across all Philadelphia sports fandoms.
Yeah, they are
for maybe
crazy.
The Phillies is a little bit more.
Phillies are nuts too. Thing is, it's all the same fans for the most part between the Eagles and like all of them. Probably the Flyers are probably the chillest, but that's mostly because they've sucked forever. So
I got a buddy who I work with who I think he's from like the Pittsburgh area.
Mm-hmm.
And so, or maybe he has family there. I don't know. Or he lived there for a while. I don't know what the story is. I'd have to ask him. I haven't actually asked him. And but you know, he's a Penguins fan. I think he roots for the
assuming the Steelers and Pirates.
Steelers. Yeah, I think he roots for the Steelers and the Pirates, and then I think I asked him about basketball. He said he just doesn't really watch that much basketball, so
kind of makes sense.
But anyway, so I asked him before the Super Bowl. I was like, "Who are you rooting for?" And he's like, "I want the Chiefs to lose." And I was like, "So you're rooting for the Eagles?" He's like, "I wouldn't go that far."
Yeah, that was one of those where it's like, can this game just end in a tie and no one win? That feels better than anything else. But.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I will say this: one thing that did come out of that was so many Patriots fans and Tom Brady fans in general came out and were like, "Well, Patrick Mahomes can't be the best ever. He can't catch up to Brady." I'm like, Mahomes is still young. Like he can still like.
They just forgot the 3 that Brady lost. Is that like?
Yeah.
That's
well, and if for me, like if Kelsey was younger, like Gronk was, like Gronk and Brady were similar in age, so they were able to just kind of follow each other along.
That's true.
But he doesn't have like his Gronk anymore, because like Kelsey used to be his Gronk of sorts, but now Kelsey's washed. I feel like.
Oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, because Gronk is a couple years.
The past 2 seasons, Kelsey has shown he's just kind of washed.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised to see him retire and enjoy whatever dating life he has with Taylor Swift. I mean, I will say this: look, I get just as annoyed as everybody about like all the Taylor Swift stuff. But there were so many people I saw on social media that were like, "She deserved to be booed" and all this stuff. I was like. She didn't put herself on TV. She just started dating a guy on the team and started going to the games. Be annoyed at the network executives, not like I mean, like
people are not annoyed at the right people.
When I was early in college, I had a huge crush on Taylor Swift, and I will,
really?
and I still you know, her music's okay, but like I don't know, I thought all the like hate for her was like I was like. It's a little over the top. But
I agree with you. I don't understand it. Like, yeah, she's getting airtime at the game, but also like, it's not hurting anything, and it's not her fault.
That other people are annoyed about is like you've got a bunch of like Taylor Swift fans watching football, and I'm like, just let them watch football for the like 1 or 2 seasons that this is going to be happening. Like,
it's true. Though some of them are psycho, though. I understand a little bit not liking the Taylor Swift fans because some of them are psycho. Like, there have been some that have like been review bombing family members of the Eagles restaurants and shit. That's
wild.
Unhinged.
Yeah, that is unhinged. That is not right.
Yeah.
That I agree with.
Yeah,
that was wild to read.
Well, and the way people,
like,
I mean, and that's the way the internet is nowadays. And
that's true. The internet's a terrible place.
I hate it. I hate the internet. Like, I love the internet, but I hate the internet. Like,
there's a lot of it to hate, and it's more year after year, more and more of it. Gets worse and worse. I miss the mid 2000s, man.
Yeah. So.
All right. Well, I guess the other thing in football news, if this is even news because he sucks now, Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be back with the Jets. So
yeah, did you see the Colts somebody put a sign up in Indy saying we're not going to sign Aaron Rodgers?
yeah.
Oh my, good on them. It's the most proactive thing they've done ever.
You know what's funny is somebody posted that Aaron Rodgers just had like statistically like the third best season that the Jets have ever seen from a quarterback. I don't know what the actual like.
I mean, it kind of makes sense though because they haven't had a good quarterback. And probably like Chad Pennington is the only one, and then
Pennington.
Joe Namath, but his stats probably weren't nearly the same level because of the era.
I think,
and I mean, I will say this, he doesn't have offensive tools. Like but I will say this: neither did Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert outperformed Aaron Rodgers. Like he didn't have any tools either. I think that other than Ladd McConkey.
To be fair, though, I think the Jets were supposed to have a better running game, and what's his face just disappeared.
Well, yeah, I mean he's still recovering from his ACL, so I don't really even blame him. But like Garrett Wilson should be better too. Like,
but you have to remember, I think something that gets overlooked, at least in my opinion, I guess, is comparing like Aaron Rodgers in terms of like best seasons. The three best quarterbacks, argumentatively, they've had that the Jets have had are Joe Namath, Chad Pennington, and Mark Sanchez.
Those are the three. Yeah, I think that is an open and shut argument.
And they weren't incredible.
Pennington put up some crazy numbers. Was pretty good. And Namath won him a Super Bowl. Sanchez is like the odd man out, I think, in that.
Sanchez was on the rise and then just died.
Sanchez went to back-to-back AFC Championship games.
No, I know, but I mean, like, and statistically, before the butt fumble, before that season, he was on the rise statistically to the point where he could start to actually do more to contribute to the team himself, because there was a lot of other people that were helping him help them, if that makes sense. Like,
right.
Like if you like, I can't remember. It was but I think it was a SB Nation or Secret Base, whatever you want to call them, did like a video on it, and they were like, the first couple seasons he had were good but not great, but he started to look really good towards the end of his second season, and then I think it was the third season is when the butt fumble happens and everything, and then all of a sudden the Jet quarterback curse just kicks in, and it's like, and that's the sad thing about Mark Sanchez is he didn't like get to do anything from there on out. Like everybody else looked at him and was like, "This is your fault," and it's like, I don't think it was. But you know,
it's also the Jets.
It is the Jets. Yeah, they've.
Well, my favorite thing now is there's news stories coming out like Zach Wilson's gonna get signed somewhere because everybody's like, ooh, maybe he's the next Sam Darnold, Geno Smith type. Maybe the Jets really are the problem. And it's like, I don't know about that yet. I'd have to see.
I don't know what team's would take a risk on him.
I mean, it's
right now one of the possibilities is the Raiders. One of the possibilities is the Chiefs. It's not that he's going to go necessarly somewhere to start, but
but then what's the point?
Primary backup.
See, you'll be able to be in a competition though. Like,
but here's my pushback to that.
Mm-hmm.
Geno Smith has DK Metcalf. Sam Darnold had
Justin Jefferson.
Justin Jefferson.
Oh yeah, like and that's
two top five receivers who just have to have the ball thrown in the area. What team out there who needs a quarterback? No, I guess argumentatively you can be like, oh well, Wilson could have Brock Bowers or whatever the fuck his name is. Okay, cool. You got,
in the league.
You got one guy to throw to, so I guess all right, but you have nobody else, and they're probably going to draft a quarterback.
Yeah. So I mean,
have him compete against Sanders, I guess.
But I mean, like, well, one of the ideas that's been pitched out there, and that there's rumors, is him possibly going to the Chiefs as like a project, like as like a backup, like just like watch Mahomes do what Mahomes does. And I think the hope is for them is that they're going to pick up like somebody.
I don't think that's going to work. I think the reason why the Sam Darnold thing worked is, and I'm not saying Andy Reid doesn't do it, but I think being in a situation like that where if you are a struggling quarterback, being in a position where someone can just teach you stuff, because that's what happened with Sam Darnold. Is Sam Darnold was under the tutelage of Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan, two of the best offensive minds in the game.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying is
I'm not saying Andy Reid.
There's a lot of teams talking about like. There's a lot of rumors of teams talking about like, well, maybe we pick him up and put him under our tutelage.
Like I said,
not a team that necessarily needs a quarterback right now.
But I don't think
that would be willing to.
My point is, I don't think the tutelage thing exactly works. We don't have the right guys there who know how to teach. I'm not saying Reid doesn't know how to teach, but there's a difference where Darnold made the comment that he learned more about reading defenses in his year with the Shanahans than he did anywhere else. That's what made him so much better. I don't know if is Andy Reid going to do that?
I also think Darnold just benefited from playing with like some of the greatest receivers in the game right now.
Yeah,
you got a young up and coming Addison. You got Justin Jefferson. You had Hawkinson late in the season. Like
that's what I said at the offshoot is like the guys who went. They had arguably they were with two of the top 5 receivers in the NFL with DK.
It's just a really good situation for him. Yeah.
And Darnold did have to travel around, and that's what I'm saying. I agree. I think if I were Zach Wilson, because he's not getting traded. He's a free agent, so he has his choice to say if there's an offer out there to say go to somewhere that's willing to develop and that's willing to put in the time to just like let him sit back. And I mean, obviously, I honestly think the year even in Denver has helped.
I think it probably helped a lot, yeah. Because
I mean, he looked a lot better in the preseason as time went on. It was like he started off like at the beginning. It was like, yeah, this is what you'd expect from Zach Wilson coming from where from like how he left off the end of his last season, and then it was like so like the beginning was really rough, but then by the end it was like this looks like a semi-competent quarterback, like not great, but like semi-competent. And so it's like, if I'm Zach Wilson, I say I'm gonna sit down, go somewhere to sit another year to, get a couple 1-year contracts and try to like.
I wonder if this last year of the Broncos was his 49ers year, like for Sam Darnold.
It could be.
And then he goes to like the Saints, maybe. Kellen Moore's off.
I forget who their offensive coordinator.
It's David Webb is their quarterback's coach, and I don't remember who the offensive coordinator is.
And I mean, because I do remember when Zach Wilson there was a bit of like, this is actually probably one of the better spots he could go to.
Yes, Joe Lombardi. That sounds right. Yes, Joe Lombardi. But Davis Webb is the guy that was working with the quarterbacks. Like, he's the quarterback's coach, but he was the one that on the sideline was fighting with Sean Payton over Bo Nix's stuff. So, classic.
Actually, I mean, I am honestly going to be interested to see who the Broncos pick up for the backup for Knicks next year, because I don't think it's going to be Wilson or I mean, don't think so either. It could be Wilson in the sense that if Wilson's saying I probably should sit another year or two, but if Wilson gets an offer to start anywhere, which I don't think will happen, but it could, then he's gone. And I know Stidham's like I'm out of here. That's like whatever. Everything is. They're probably both just gone, and
like it's gonna be some, it's gonna be an old veteran type quarterback is who you want.
Yeah. So in terms of like free agent quarterbacks that bring Flacco back, that I would say fit that build would probably be like a Jacoby Brissett.
Brissett's a good one. Yeah.
Taylor Heineke would be a good one. Marcus Heineke, Mariota would be a good one. The Red Rifle, Andy Dalton might be a good fit. Flacco's another one, I guess, if you want to go that route. Jameis could be another one.
Is Tyler Huntley available? Is he going to be in free agency? He's a decent option.
Tyler Huntley,
Carson Carson fits that build. Keenum fits that build. Mason Rudolph fits the build.
So yeah, it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, you could also pick up a Tyler Huntley because he's off.
Tyler Huntley.
Honestly, Jameis Winston might make the most sense because he's already played in New Orleans with Sean Payton. And
I think
I don't know. It'll be someone like that though.
Jameis Winston is that's the funny thing with him is he is so talented.
He is.
There are times
he's got 30-30 vision,
oh
baby.
My gosh.
Oh yeah.
But then all of a sudden, like 2 plays later, he's throwing like 4 interceptions, and you're like, what?
Well, that was like the Broncos game this year. He had 4 touchdowns and 3 picks, and threw for 497 yards.
Wild, right?
It's insane.
So if you pick him up, you better hope that he stays on the.
But
that's fine.
If the U.S. scored again, so it's now 3-1.
Damn.
Suck it, Canada.
I just don't want Nate Dogg losing, dude.
Hey, hit Tommy DeVito as your backup. How about that?
Avs over country.
What about
Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones,
Daniel Jones.
Literally on the same wavelength.
Kind of.
Specs here.
Thing is, I don't want a guy that even thinks he should be the starter. Like, that's the thing. It's Bo Nix's team. It's going to be someone going in. They know they are not starting. They do not have a chance to start. The only way they're playing is if someone gets hurt. So,
I was watching a video earlier though, and you know what was funny was like the top 5 paid quarterbacks in the league this past year.
Mm-hmm.
It was wild to realize like that because do you know who the top paid quarterback was this last year?
Was it Jordan Love?
No.
Okay.
The highest paid quarterback?
Oh, it was Dak.
Yep.
I was gonna say.
Jordan Love's number 3.
It?
Okay.
Yeah, Jordan Love. Well, I think they consider her just based on straight salary. It's tied for second.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you got Dak Prescott 60 million, and then you got Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, and Jordan Love all tied at 55, and then you had Tua. And it's like,
I was gonna say, Tua's like
what are these
more,
guys
right?
like? What are these? No, Tua's 53.1 million, and then I think shortly behind him is Justin Herbert. Yeah, Jared Goff and Justin Herbert right behind Tua, and it's like
it's insane.
It's like look, Dak, I kind of get like he's got the track record like of being at least a good regular season quarterback.
Yep.
Joe Burrow, I get because he
1,000%. Joe Burrow, that's a steal,
right
honestly.
He's gonna lead you to another Super Bowl soon, as long as you put the right things around him. Trevor Lawrence, I don't get why he's so highly paid.
Well, it's in all these cases, it's because they have to. They don't have a choice.
I guess.
Like
but
that's what sucks.
That's what's crazy is you're sitting there like, but why? Like, why? Like Trevor Lawrence has not done anything to deserve $55 million a year to be like the second highest paid quarterback in the league.
Well, I mean,
he's a quarterback. He's a quarterback.
There you go. That's what he did. He's a quarterback, and he was okay. Like this, it's similar to like an NBA superstar. Like, is DeMar DeRozan worth the max?
More than Lamar Jackson. Like,
yeah, it's because it's dumb of how this works. Is it's basically
he's
like
more than Kyler Murray, who's done way less than. Like,
yeah. But it's just Pat Mahomes is number 12 on this list, dude. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But yeah, it's the same with a superstar in the NBA. Like, you just have to pay them.
I mean, and these guys will get like their contracts will get renegotiated, or not, but like they'll get negotiated to eventually be, where they should be, like in terms of like it'll all start to like even out a bit. But it's like, oh my gosh, and that was probably the wildest thing I've seen today. I was like, what the heck? Like, even like for me, like being like a decent like Justin Herbert fan, I'm like, what's he doing up there? Like, he's showed a lot of promise, but not enough to follow through with like a huge contract. Like,
I think Justin Herbert makes sense where he is at number 7, 100%. Like, to me, he is like around that.
He's right, but he's only like $2.5 million from being the second highest paid player in the league. Like,
and that's fine, and that's what the market is. But like Justin Herbert, I think is probably about the 7th best quarterback in the league. Like Joe Burrow, Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Josh Allen,
Yeah.
then at that point you're looking at probably where Justin Herbert
maybe
is.
I'm still used to like and I think it's the NBA, honestly, like not the NBA now, but the NBA I grew up with. It felt like it used to be like the only guys who were getting like 20 million or whatever a year were Kobe and LeBron and those guys. Whereas I mean, nowadays, yeah, it's kind of gotten a little crazy again.
Right. It's basically like, hey, if you're a borderline all-star, you're getting a max contract. Like, so you have all these salaries that make 0 sense based on how good these players are. Like, Jamal Murray makes more than many all-stars, and it doesn't really make sense. And the NFL quarterback's the same way.
Another update, Matt McClung is a 3-time NBA dunk champion.
Hell yeah.
I've never cared any less.
Yeah, I don't think anyone cares about
I think I cared the first time he won one. And then after that, I was like, okay.
Good for the white boy.
Yeah. We didn't see Blake Griffin jump over Carr 10 years ago. Canada did lose. So sad for my boy. Anyway. I also want Finland to win, for the record, because Arturi Lehkonen is on the Finnish team, so...
It has been 5,473 days since Canada lost with Sidney Crosby in the lineup. I could not have it happen to a man I want punch in the face.
That's so many days?
Yeah. They were 26 straight games they've won with Sidney Crosby in the lineup. Over 15 years.
I was going to say, that was a long... I mean, he is one of the best hockey players ever, so... Makes sense.
Suck it, Sidney Crosby.
You know why they lost those? Because Cale Makar is sick and wasn't able to play today, so...
I just assume because it's Canada, and Canada doesn't do well in hockey when it comes to playing America, whether it's the Stanley Cups or whatever.
That's true. It's been a very long time since they've won a cup.
Yeah, so suck it, Canada.
That's fine. I'm cool with Canada. Yeah, I guess, do you want to talk about any of the All-Star Weekend stuff? Do we care about any of it?
That skills competition looks stupid as shit.
So I heard Wemby cheated.
At least in the clip I saw.
I heard Wemby cheated.
I had no idea. It looks stupid as hell.
He got DQ'd. Him and Chris Paul.
It looks stupid as shit from what I saw. So I'm like,
yeah, no, I don't. Well,
you're like, nah, I don't give a shit.
Honestly, the thing is the players. I watched a video and I think it was Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith were saying this. The players have ruined it. Like, and it's across almost all sports.
Oh, it is every sport. Yeah, it's not just the NBA's problem.
There is no, well, it's the only sport that I think that kind of still does a decent All-Star weekend is the MLB.
Damn, Skippy.
And that's just because in baseball,
you can go half.
You don't like. It's not so high contact that, like, especially not with the current rules, that you're not risking injury by just playing your regular game as much. The other ones are like, you play the game hard, you're gonna injure yourself, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, I get that to some extent, but it's just like, I don't know. I think it was Kendrick Perkins was saying something to the effect of like, back in the day, they like played it because like they played hard in these games because they wanted to like show up, like they wanted to beat the best of the best. And nowadays they're just like, it's like layup lines basically.
Did Kendrick Perkins said that? He's never been in an All-Star game.
Yeah,
he wouldn't know.
But well, no,
that's so funny.
But I think he's basing off of like
probably. Yeah, no.
It's like back in the 90s or 80s, it was like the All-Star game was fun to watch because.
But then too, you can
have these guys, and then it's just like the more and more that people have gone to just care about.
But you can like handshake people and stuff.
I've gotten to the point with the All-Star game stuff that I'm almost just like, just don't do it. Just give them a break, like a mid-season break. Just call it the mid-season break. You know, and you know, give like an extended weekend off sort of thing to all the teams, and then just say, all right, we'll pick back up on Monday. Like at this point, like it's like nobody's watching. I mean, the only reason that I see not to do that is the cities that get the All-Star games are getting like a huge economic boost, even with the even with like the unpopularity, it's still people show up.
I mean, it's
like boosts the local,
I think people.
local economies.
It's still an event, even if the game itself kind of sucks. It's still like it's still like the just being in this building with all of these NBA stars and legends. You have, the dunk contest has sucked for the last couple of years, but like you have other auxiliary events off of it that are still kind of fun. Like 3-point contest is usually kind of fun. Like
I was gonna say, just do the 3-point contest, do the slam dunk contest. Come up with a couple other special events.
I want a 1v1 tournament, dude. That's what I want.
That could be fun. That could be fun.
So. The stars would never do it, but
name like all-stars. Don't make them play a game. Just be like, you guys could just do whatever you want this weekend. If you're invited to an event or something, why don't they just go to your events or whatever? But like. I'd rather just watch a 3-point contest and a skills competition kind of thing.
I kind of wish they did it the way like the video games do it, where it's almost like it's split into halves. Like the All-Star breaks the end of part 1, and then the end of the season's part 2. So it's like name them like midway, like All NBA halfway or something. Like first half of the season all in, because that's really what the All-Star game is. Well, not for the NBA, but where it's like
kind of though. Like,
to a certain degree, where it's like, hey, here are the NBA first team for the first half, and there you go.
Here are the 24 best players for the first half, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and then just give them a weekend, like Bryce say, maybe give them just a weekend off, like no game per se. Like maybe, or hell, what they should do is have nothing on Friday. Have a skills competition Sunday, and then have the Rising Star game on Sunday in prime time. Like, let the young guys.
Thing is, like
shine.
The Rising Stars game, I watched that last night. They didn't give a shit either. Like,
but I'm saying like maybe that I don't know.
I think the only way you're ever going to get it to be more competitive is you need to have some kind of like. There needs to be more incentive to actually give a shit, and I think they've tried the money thing, which. I mean, if a guy's making $60 million, who cares about an extra $250K?
Yeah.
But I wonder if and I know this has been mentioned in the past and people have kind of hated it. I wonder if you base home court in the NBA Finals off of East-West result.
Baseball did that, and I hated it with a fucking. I hated it.
But I can't think of anything else that's like.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Ooh, maybe. You move the tournament?
Because it's a player mentality thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's like you can't really fix it unless you make the game count.
Right.
And
exactly. Yeah.
And so the only way, like, you're just saying. I think the midseason, maybe move the midseason tournament to be
after like the All-Star, and then in that. The finals of that, instead of making it in Vegas, which will never move it from Vegas, but instead of Vegas, have it be a home team.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I don't know either. It just makes me sad because it used to be fun to watch, and now it feels like a chore a lot of the time. And part of it doesn't help the dunk contest has sucked for 10 years.
I feel like one of the last times I ever felt like it was like a decent game was back when Kobe was still there, because Kobe would come out and be like, hey, we're playing basketball. I'm going to kill everybody.
And that's the thing. In the fourth quarter, he would come out and try to kick everyone's ass. Whereas nowadays, no one tries to do that. Like,
yeah,
screw around for 3 quarters, but fourth quarter, we're going. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, so.
But I am a little interested just to see the new, if the new format changes anything. Because it is the teams of 7 or 8 or whatever. And they're doing 4 different teams, and then doing.
I don't think it will. I don't think it will. Like it works for. I think it works for hockey. But hockey, they made it 3-on-3.
They did.
So it was just straight out. So it was basically just fast break on fast break.
It was basically overtime hockey for the entire, which is way more fun than normal hockey.
And 3-on-3 is so much fun in hockey. I don't think it's going to do the same for the NBA, unless you did 3-on-3 in the NBA too, I guess. But I don't think the NBA is going to fix it anytime soon.
I wonder if one of the teams is the Rising Stars team. I wonder if they end up beating the first All-Star team. I wonder if at that point
the break.
Well, I'm saying like as like the actual All Stars don't want to lose to the Rising Stars because that just looks terrible. So I wonder if having them more incorporated may kind of kick the actual All Stars in the ass a little bit to try.
At least that first game, because
I would think
that middle one where it's All Stars on All Stars, they're not going to give a shit.
Yeah, like the
oh no, we lost to LeBron and AD. Oh, whatever.
Right.
You know, for me, the idea that comes to my head, and this might be just stupid.
I like stupid ideas.
And you guys can tell me if this is just stupid, but the idea that comes to my head is: what if you went back to West Conference versus Eastern Conference, and you just said like, whoever wins this game, their team gets like a bump in like the salary cap or something like
that's even dumber.
That might be stupid, but then the percentage would actually
10%?
play
like 10%.
No, yeah, I'm not talking like a huge bump. I'm not saying like it would be
like an extra $1,000, but like you get $1,000.
Maybe each team gets like one more mid-level exemption or something.
Oh, they get like a mid-level. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, like something where they can sign a decent enough guy. Like I'm not saying
I kind of
like tie some sort of financial incentive that matters to the guys. Like LeBron would go out there and be like, "Look, if I can get like an extra dude that's like solid, he might come out and actually play."
That might work only because of like I was thinking, because CJ and I've talked for weeks about like how the Lakers and Denver arguably won't do jack diddly squat because of cap space issues.
Yeah, we didn't do shit. I mean, you guys did.
I mean, we did because of it traded. But if they were to push back the trade deadline to after that and said like, hey, winner gets basically a mid-level exception.
Would players care though? The players, like the teams, 100% might care, but would the players even care? Because that's the thing. I don't know.
Maybe only because
I'm saying like in certain teams like the Lakers, who are like at the max and like don't have much of a bench, they would love to have one more mid-level guy, like one more guy that's willing to come in at the exception and play. That's the only reason it's like the only thing I can think of that maybe it would get enough of the guys to like care enough that it's like. No, I mean the only problem would be then like if like let's say like the Jazz, if Lauri Markkanen's there, he's like,
why would he care? Yeah,
level exception guy. Like we're tanking.
No, I think guys that were on that bubble of trade, kind of like quality guys, not like
you would at least have like 4 or 5 guys in the game on each. Like you'd have like 2 or 3 guys in the game at a time.
All the contender
like
guys,
pushing because they'd be like, I want this.
Yeah, I think the guys who knew they could be in, that would get them off the team they were in, and a good team could get them because now they can be afforded in the buyout market or something. I think, yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I feel like, I don't know.
But it might be like a small limited thing because like
it would have to be small. And like the thing is, it's like again, like most of the players won't care, and all of these guys make too much money for to be able to sign for a mid-level exception. Because like
no, she get it on the cap for like the upcoming free agency.
Maybe wait, hold on. Maybe you make players who are, let's say they do this 4-team thing, players on the winning team are now eligible for the Supermax. Like, rather than having to hit the MVP or All-Star thing, but those individual players are eligible for the Supermax regardless of other stuff.
I guess.
Because then the players would give a shit at that point. Though the teams would hate that.
Yeah, teams would hate it. Then you'd probably end up with more Luka situations where guys would get traded for.
Probably. I didn't say it's a good idea. It's definitely a bad one, but I
mean, like I spitballed that idea, like knowing, like it's probably not
and that's the thing is like
idea in the world, but it like was the first thing that came to my head that I thought. At least it would get some guys like like my mid-level idea of like giving a team a mid-level exception or whatever. It would give guys like LeBron a reason to play. Like they'd be sitting there like, I want one more dude to come off the bench and support this team,
right?
And because you could get it, like the Lakers could use a guy at the mid-level exception who could punch them through in the playoffs, sort of thing.
Honestly, I think the only real solution is you need to have one of those psychos like Michael Jordan and Kobe that is pretty much the face of the league and is like crazy psycho competitive that pushes everyone else. I think that's really the only solution. Hope Wemby is like that, I guess.
So I'm watching a better view of why Wemby and Chris Paul got DQ'd. If you watch the actual like NBA video, in spots they were supposed to shoot, they were basically just passing the ball so they could get through it faster.
Oh, is that what happened?
And that's like taking like zero effort to do anything. So it's just like, oh, bounce pass, like chest pass. Oh, we're just gonna like it was like the shot. They're not even close. They're like out there and just
Oh, I see. Yeah, he just threw him off the rack.
Yeah, he's just throwing him. He's not even looking. Which is funny.
I mean, yeah, he deserved to get DQ'd for that, but that's
hilarious. That's fucking funny, regardless of the situation.
Hey, you know what? Good for them for taking this kind of dumb competition and being like, NBA fix this shit. Like,
I'm glad they gave it the respect it deserved, which was none.
That's funny. All right, NBA, NFL. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Any baseball stuff happen? I know.
Angels got a closer in Kenley Jensen, so that's
nice. Congratulations.
About it.
They're still
gonna suck ass, so it doesn't matter.
I was gonna say,
Us too. Let's go.
Like, my question for you is with Jansen. I've seen some Angels fans who are like, should we let Jansen close or should we have Joyce close still and then just have Jansen be a setup guy?
Jansen's closing.
Yeah, as I say, you don't bring a guy in for the money. You're bringing him in to say, hey, can you be our setup guy for our young guy who doesn't have that much closing experience?
Kenley Jansen last year had arguably one of his best seasons. So yeah, he's closing, and argumentatively, if he does well enough and you're out of contention, guess what? You trade him off because someone will want him. Yeah, at age 36, he had 27 saves, a 3.29 ERA, 27 saves in. I don't have any chances. Some BS is on here. 54 innings. It was one of his better years.
Well, and I think the only reason I see Angels fans saying that is because we're so used to the K-Rod of years past that we're just like guys that came out and threw hard fastballs. Like Ben Joyce is what he threw some of the fastest pitches in the league last year, right? Like, yeah,
I don't think Francisco threw that.
I mean, hard. he wasn't that, but he came in and threw what, a fastball and a breaking ball, didn't he?
I mean, he was fastball slider, but
fastball slider,
in terms of velocity, Frankie, he was only like 97. That's.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is like, for Angels fans, like that's always been like one of our harder closers in terms of like speed.
Wait, what do you? Wait, hold on.
I'm talking about like just. I'm not understanding your
question. What's your question? Are you saying
in our closers, a lot of our closers come in with like different stuff. He was one of the ones that came in with like,
like you're throwing hard guy.
Yeah.
I guess.
I just seem to remember K-Rod would come in and try to blow one by pitchers, but like Frieri
was a soft thrower. Rodney could get it up there, but he was mainly a changeup guy. I can't think of who came after.
Was Percy a hard ball?
Yeah, he threw hard.
I couldn't remember that one. I couldn't remember.
Let me see. In terms of
you had Fuentes? We had
Fuentes. Fuentes didn't throw hard.
I was gonna say, we've had a line of guys who just come in and throw breaking balls and whatever else.
Fuentes, soft thrower, Walden. I think Jordan Walden got it up there. Frieri was, I think, mid-90s. Street, low 90s. Norris, low 90s. Fuck, what? Blake Parker? Oh, God. Hansel Roble, same thing. Like,
I'm not trying to make you go back.
No. I'm just sort of like, I'm trying to think, or is like, nothing.
I'm just, that's the only but that's what I'm saying. That's the only explanation I can offer for Joyce, because, like, Joyce, like, he's got a really good, like, he can throw really hard, right? Like, but, like, outside of that, like, what qualifies him to be the closer? Like,
that's probably what he would be, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, man.
anyways.
Well, at least you guys are signing guys. So congratulations on that. The Rockies have done nothing. So, all right, cool. I don't got anything else. You want to end here? Cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll be back probably Wednesday. Talking about something. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Peace. Oh, I gotta find OBS. It disappears. There it is.